What's up, everybody? It's Luke Beller with the Sideline Scoop. So, the Packers pulled off the victory against the Jaguars, but only by 4 points. And I know coming into this game, probably like most of you guys, I honestly expected the Packers to blow out the Jaguars. Considering look at the record. It's now 1-8. It was 1-7, but I really expected the Packers to come in here and beat the Jaguars by 14, 2 to 3 touchdowns probably. And I expected them to come out with 40 plus points, as I told you in my prediction video. But as you can see, that didn't happen, and it was much closer than I had really honestly expected. So first off, I just want to sort of go through this game quarter by quarter to sort of see how it progressed. So coming in, I thought the Packers would get off to a fast start, and then, with Jacksonville being behind, they wouldn't really be able to rely on the run. But to start off the game, the Packers, honestly, their offense was not looking good at all. The first few drives, we ended up punting, as you can see here from the box score. It was 3-0. Jaguars are up in the first quarter. So the Packers did not get off to the fast start that I honestly expected them to. And so, of course, the Jaguars come in 3-0 with a field goal. And then the Packers have a great play to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a 78-yard bomb from Aaron Rodgers to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, 78-yard touchdown. That was just a beauty. Put the Packers up 7-3. And, seeing that play really gives me a lot of hope in Marquez Valdes-Scantling, because we saw how inconsistent he has been so far this season. Last week he comes in after having one drop, catches 2 passes for 2 touchdowns. So to see him come out, in the first half of this game with that 78-yard touchdown, that was definitely great to see from him. So hopefully we can sort of start to see that. It seems like he's building up his confidence, and hopefully we can start to see some more of that coming up in the future. And then sort of one of the reasons that this game was kept close is because the Jaguars had a punt return touchdown in the second quarter, which obviously never good to see when special teams is returning kicks for touchdowns. So that was definitely one of the reasons why this game was pretty close, considering, Jake Luton, or Luton, I don't know how you say his name. I think it's, I don't know, something like that. But basically, you can see his stats, 18 for 35. He didn't play that great. He was okay, but not honestly great. And so that special teams touchdown definitely kept them in this game. And then Rodgers comes in with a touchdown run with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Great run from Rodgers. It was I think it was like a little play action pass. He comes out, runs it in. Great job. He had a pretty sweet celebration as well. And then to end that second half, or the first half, Adrian Amos comes up with an interception. So that was great to see as well. So going into half, the Packers were up 17-10 coming into halftime. So then coming into the second half, it's like, okay, we're up by 7. I was thinking, okay, let's just shut this one down right now. Let's go score some points. Let's get some points and, just come away with this victory pretty easily. You don't want to really see it close with a team like the Jaguars, who are 1-8. But then, sort of near the beginning of the second half, Davante Adams, I'm pretty sure the Jaguars punted it, put us down like the 3-yard line. Aaron Rodgers drops back. There was a pass to Davante. He's running across, and then he fumbles the ball. The Jaguars recover it, puts him in great field position. I think they're like 20, something like that. So Jake Luton comes in, touchdown pass to Keenan Cole. So that puts us at 17-17. So I'm sitting there like, oh boy, this is not looking good right now. And then to make things worse, Aaron Rodgers was an interception near the end of the third quarter. So things just weren't looking great. Honestly, throughout this entire game, the Jaguars looked like they came to play. They had like a fire inside of them. They were playing physical defense, really, honestly, causing some problems for this Packers team, especially take a look at the running backs. Aaron Jones got a few more yards in the fourth quarter. Most of the game, honestly, sort of shut down our running game. 13 carries, 46 yards for Aaron Jones. Jamal Williams, 8 carries for 30 yards. And they really did a good job of, containing Aaron Jones and containing Jamal Williams. So that was one of their main reasons. I think, Jacksonville just came into play. And I think the Packers being, such big favorites, maybe didn't come in with that same intensity. You could sort of see it. The defense played well at times, but lots of times they sort of looked like they were a little bit lifeless at times. So definitely with the Jaguars came in with an underdog mentality, sort of like we saw last week, with the Steelers barely pulling off a win against a very, very bad Dallas Cowboys team. So then coming into the fourth quarter, Davante catches a touchdown pass in the fourth with like 9 minutes left, puts the Packers up 24-20 at that point. So then near the end of the game, the Jaguars get the ball back with a couple minutes left. They're coming down, they're moving the ball, and then the Packers get 2 sacks to basically close off the game. Rashawn Gary gets a sack, and then Preston Smith gets a sack, sort of shutting down the game, ending it at that point. So even though, it was close at times, the Packers did come off with a victory to now put us at, 7-2? I'm pretty sure we're at like the top of the NFC North now. Jaguars at 1-8. But honestly, with the Packers team as good as we are, you never want to see a game this close against a bad team. And I think it was sort of more of the Packers sort of playing down to the level of the Jaguars. The Jaguars came into play. We're physical, we're ready mentally. And the Packers just sort of seemed a little bit of lackadaisical at times, not completely there. But luckily, we did pull off the victory. And there were lots of bright spots from this Packers team. One of the bright spots I would say is Marquez Valdes-Scantling. As I talked about earlier, as you can see his stats here, 4 receptions, 149 yards, and 1 touchdown. And especially that 178-yard bomb, that was just amazing. So to see Valdes-Scantling coming in and, sort of growing in trust with Aaron Rodgers, because, with Valdes-Scantling dropping so many balls earlier this season, Rodgers honestly probably couldn't trust him very much, and to sort of see them build some more chemistry, to see Valdes-Scantling come up with some of these catches is great to see, especially coming into the second half of this season. Because if we can have Valdes-Scantling playing great out here when Lazard probably comes back next week, and to have Devontae having all 3 of those guys playing well, then we probably honestly don't need another receiver, like lots of us were hoping, to possibly get Will Fuller. If Valdes-Scantling can play, we honestly don't really need another guy. That's sort of my personal opinion. We all probably have our own opinion. But great game from Valdes-Scantling. So that's basically the biggest things from this game. Aaron Rodgers, 24 for 34, pretty good game, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have that 1 interception, but, that happens at times. Not usually for Rodgers. That was his 3rd interception of the year. So pretty good game from him. And then James Robinson, honestly, on the Jacksonville Jaguars, he's a great running back. I sort of talked about that in the preview video, how, one thing we needed to watch out for was James Robinson, because he has been probably a top 10 back in the NFL so far this season. So he ran the ball for 109 yards and 23 carries. And I also pointed out how in the 3 games this season that he had his best games, of course, the games were within 10 points. So I was thinking if we get off to a fast start, then, we really won't need to see much of James Robinson, just because if we're up by a lot, they can't run the ball. But obviously they kept this game pretty close the entire game. So they're able to continue to, use that run game and utilize that run game. So James Robinson obviously had a great game for the Jaguars, but nonetheless, Packers came out with a victory. Great game. Also, David Bakhtiari just signed a 4-year crazy contract extension for the Packers. I just dropped that video right before this one. So if you have to see it, I'll drop the link down below. But make sure you guys drop a like on the video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and go Pack, go baby.